Welcome to the Friday Nightmare Podcast. This is our annual award show where Scott and I will be nominating and electing movies that we feel are deserving of an award. This is our end of year show. And instead of just a top 10 list, we choose to do awards to recognize all that horror had to offer this year. I am one half of the hosting team, Heather Powell, coming to you today from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. And with me to kick off this night of awards is
Mr. Smoke Show Crawford, coming to you from the town of Swartz Creek in the county of Genesee, in the state of Michigan, in the United States of America, in the North American continent, in the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy. Fully vaxxed, boosted, and waxed, and ready to climax. And if you can, please get me wet and feed me after midnight. I'm the man with the not so glorious beard. Well, actually, I'm the man with the glorious beard. Screwed that up.
Keep going.
AKA Mother of Cats, AKA the man with the humongous ego, AKA Scott Housen, AKA the award ceremonies.
The best award ceremony you can by far listen to. Scott and I are absolutely the experts on all things 2022. And there's no other show you need to listen to other than this one.
We got you covered.
You want not a basic bitch list of top tens?
Ooh.
We're going to give it to you. You won't be hearing about Halloween Ends on this podcast. Well, I don't know. Maybe Scott will talk about it, but
we'll
I will not be talking about Halloween Ends at all, anywhere in this realm.
Absolute shame.
And here's the thing: I like the movie. I did. If you recall, I just don't think it's out in any kind of shape or form this year. Well, maybe it was sad at parts. It was sad at parts.
We'll see if it shows up.
We'll get into it. So thank you for the constructive feedback about us listing movies. Moving forward, I will list the movies that we talk about starting in 2023 with underneath the episode. So when Scott releases the episode cover page or announces on Facebook, I will include a comment that has all the movies that we talk about in that order. I'm not going to ask Scott to timestamp. That is a lot of work on his part. So I think us including in the comments, so you can go to the comments on Facebook and you will see the movies listed in order. And I'll probably just give one streaming service that you can find it on. I'm not going to list if you can find it on Google and this and that. Like if it's VOD, you're renting it. If it's anything else, I'll indicate theaters or Shudder or whatever, and you can look it up in your own country. But that was some great feedback, so we will be doing that moving forward.
Yes, but makes sense, especially because of all the movies we watch, and we go through them so quickly.
I'm sure we could publish the awards as well. I don't know how to do that. That's a lot of reading.
Yeah, well, in a mixture of both of our lists, I think. Yeah. But this is the end of the year show. Everybody will have seen a good chunk of the movies. Yeah. The ones that people may not have, I'm sure they'll pick up in this and they'll at least stick in their head or something.
I think we'll release our top 10 that we will release on our Facebook page, each of our top 10s. But in terms of the awards, we have like 50 awards now, and it would just be a big pain in the ass. And I don't think anyone's going to read them. But I don't know, if you really want them, message us and I'll send it to you via email. If you're really interested and you would like to see it, not a problem. I'm more than happy to send my list to you via email and you can take a look. But yes, we will do our top 10s and we will post them on Facebook as well. So let's get into it, Scotty, because this has been a year.
Yeah, I was going to say, like as we always do right before we start the awards, like how many 2022s did you end up watching?
That's right. Okay, so my count for 2022s was 205.
Nice.
Now, I did not count the Cabinet of Curiosity films. I know you did.
But I only watched 3 of them. So
I watched 8. So I guess if I was to include the Cabinet of Curiosity series, that would be 213.
Nice. Yeah. So we were close because, I was I think we were almost, last year you blew past me, but the year before that, we were both really close to each other. But I am at 220. And then with the first time older watches, I did 74, which I know you did way more than me.
Yeah, I did 121.
Nice.
And then I didn't really do a good job of capturing the non-horror movies I watched this year. That was probably a little bit of a faux pas that I did not capture that as well. I only have 2 here. See how they run in 13 lives. But you know what? I know I watched other ones. I did watch a lot of older films this year. I definitely did get caught up on a lot of other stuff, and that's thanks to the other podcasts that I'm on as well, Slumber Party Massacre. Right. That kind of gets me to watch stuff that I've never seen before. Hashtag thank you Letterboxd. Like, can we just give a shout out to fucking Letterboxd for making this show possible? Because without Letterboxd, I don't know if there would be an easy way to fucking track this shit.
No, it would be difficult, and like our top 10s would not be nearly as like in depth, because like we'd be like, shit, what did we watch this year?
Right? Right? We'd be like, I don't know what I watched. It would just be us panicking for like fucking 3 hours on this show. But yeah, it's a very exciting year. We're very excited to be giving our awards. You know, usually we have a guest with us. Other years we've done it solo. This year we're doing it solo, which I prefer because we got a lot of fucking awards. And you know, Scott talks enough, so we don't we don't need another chatterbox on this show besides me, and only me. So why don't we start off though? Hashtag thank you Shudder again. Shudder for a fabulous year. This was a very hard category for me. I don't know how it was for Scott. Honestly, there was some fucking bangers this year on Shudder. It was really hard for me to choose even 2. So Scott, would you like to go first, or should I go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So yeah, the best Shudder film. So I got with almost every category, I actually got a runner up this time. So the runner up for me was The Sadness. I just it was a mean-spirited, violent movie. Like, a lot of people know this film, but yeah, I dug it a lot. It was like kind of my thing. But little too mean-spirited to be the main film that I really loved. And the main film I loved from Shudder was Deadstream.
Excellent choices. Great fucking films.
I fucking love it. It's very, very Evil Dead-ish. It's very low budget. It's just fun. It's fun, gory, and hilarious at the same time. It's just everything all wrapped in one.
Could not agree more. Excellent choices. The Sadness. So just to Scott and I may spoil parts of movies throughout this award show, so please be warned. Especially for some of our categories, spoilers are needed to explain why we chose a movie. So listen with caution, please.
Yep.
For me, the runner-up was Speak No Evil. I thought Speak No Evil was another example of horror done right. I do appreciate Tim Davis's point from Dummies of Horror that, you know, you do really dislike the parents towards the end and question some of the decisions that they're making. But I find that the slow buildup and the relationship interaction between everyone involved was fucking phenomenal, and is what a good storytelling should be. And the one that creeped me out the most, that I enjoyed the most this year, as I said, there were some great ones. Gloria skated very close to this. But Who Invited Them?
Nice.
I thought Who Invited Them was exceptional. Party invasion horror, house invasion, stranger danger done fucking right. Excellent acting, excellent layers of the stories. Both of these 2 movies had layers to them. They, you know, sometimes a movie like The Sadness, which is phenomenal, but it's what you're seeing is what you get, right? There's an outbreak, shit goes down, and there's some pretty gross scenes in The Sadness as well, too.
Yeah.
But these 2 films focused more on levels of relationship building and stuff going on, and Shudder just nailed it this year. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have a Shudder's account, it is worth the money you pay. Probably one of the better streaming services out there. So yeah, I'll let you take on the next one.
All right. So yeah, great choices. Because I wanted to say, like, in both the films you picked were, the main characters were put in very awkward, uncomfortable situations, and it's what pretty much keeps you going in those movies.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the next category is best Netflix film. Oof, this was not this one was, well, I should say this one was easy because there really wasn't a lot.
No, there wasn't.
For do you I'll let you go first on this one.
Sounds good. We'll do it alternating. Whoever introduces it, the other person goes first. You know, Netflix tried with a couple this year. There was even the one that came out earlier this year called The Privilege, which wasn't too bad. But it just didn't hit it home. And for me personally, people will debate whether this runner-up is a horror movie or not. I don't really care, but The Desperate Hour with Naomi Watts, simply for her performance. in this film, simply as being a mother who is trying to find out whether her son is the shooter or a victim at a school shooting, only having her iPhone as a means of communication, being the only actor in this movie. You know, I know that she was in the other remake that came out this year. Shit, what was it called?
Good night, Mommy.
Good night, Mommy. I think she overacted from what I hear in that one. I think in Desperate Hour, she was right on the fucking money.
Yeah, like she, if people don't know what this movie is, it's about basically a mother that is on a run, going on a run, like regular just exercise, when she gets a call from the school basically saying there is a school shooting happening and she is far from home and needs to try to find a way to get there as soon as possible and is freaking out. So it's,
well, and I
real
think the
life
biggest thing
situation.
is her trying to figure out who her son is.
Yes.
And as I said, we're going to give spoilers here. And what gave the power of this is he the aggressor or is he a victim? And you really don't know.
Right.
Like you really don't know where he stands. And I thought that was a really good movie. But for me, the best film on Netflix this year was Old People.
I knew that was going to be your pick.
Got me in the feels, especially when they're in the retirement community and all they want to do is listen to the music that's being played and people are kind of dicks to them like we are to our older folks. None of that's, made up. And they rebel, and I don't give a fuck where their superhuman old people strength came from. It's fucking scary. And I think what's also really scary is the nursing home conditions and the realities that's talked about in that film. And that is a North American problem too. That is not
100%.
And by any stance of the imagination restricted to, I can't remember the country of origin. I think it was Spanish.
I think it was
Spanish.
Spanish film.
Spain. Yeah. So excellent film. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it is available in dubbing and it is available in subtitles if you prefer, and that's on Netflix. So Scott, what are yours?
Nice. I was gonna say also just a heads up for some people, Desperate Hour I do not believe is on American Netflix.
Is it just on Canadian Netflix? Yep. Okay.
But for me, Old People was my runner-up.
Nice.
And because of everything you just said. But for me, I looked at this one as what film would I be willing to like? Did I enjoy more? And for me, it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Good movie.
It was fun.
Movie. Yeah, it was fun.
It was like I don't get the hate. I mean, yeah, it's not like the old TCM movies and anything like that, but neither were a lot of the sequels. They were all just kind of weird, batshit and crazy. This one was less batshit crazy.
It's the weirdest fucking franchise on the entire planet.
Oh, 100%.
Nothing makes sense. So take it or leave it. It was a decent film that came out on Netflix this year.
Yeah, like it's just you got the, well, I guess you would say Gen Z characters in this one. Mm-hmm. Just the way they are and trying to gentrify this little town.
Yeah.
And yet the Leatherface ain't having it, and it was just super
no
gory.
One was having it. No one was having it. Yeah.
No, the only part I thought was just kind of wasted was Sally returning.
Yeah, I didn't get the point of that, but that's just like, hey, it worked in Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I mean, I got to give them props because they're like, hey, Sally's back, and you're thinking, oh yeah, she's gonna survive. No, she doesn't.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. She gets fucked. So. Yeah, so Netflix, that's about your 3 good movies. So thanks for bringing those to the table this year, Netflix.
Yeah, right.
Best on demand. So this one's a little tricky because sometimes, like, for example, I can't always get movies that Scott can get on Hulu, right? Or whatever the case may be. So this one's a little more of a tricky category. So I'll be interested to see what Scott has for his picks.
All right. So for best on demand, what we mean by this is like ones that you can rent.
Yeah.
And the two that the runner up that I chose is Soft and Quiet, because fucking hell, like I've said on the podcast before, I didn't know if I hated this movie or loved it for what it did. Like it no matter what, this movie made me fucking feel emotions that I did not want to feel. And it stuck with me. Like everything about this film, like the acting was incredible. It was hard to watch because it's how real it is.
Yeah.
But goddamn, I could not leave this off of this list. But my best of video on demand and worth the money no matter what is the faux documentary horror comedy When the Screaming Starts.
We chose the same thing.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love this. The characters were all hilarious. It was pretty much a Charles Manson wannabe trying to build this cult of people that are going to invade people's homes and kill people. And you had a documentarian with following them around. And it's just one thing goes wrong after another, and the people that he chose for his group are just absolutely freaking hilarious.
Oh
And
my
just
God.
weird.
A really funny British film that came out this year, like a really funny that doesn't get, with the exception of a few podcasters, the love that it deserves.
Yeah.
Like it was really fucking funny. And I think Soft and Quiet is one of those sleeper hits this year that people may not have watched, which is surprising that it came from Blumhouse. But very, very well done. And Scott and I had the exact same movies that we chose for on demand. So that's
That is
cool.
Hilarious. Wow. That doesn't happen often that we have both runner up and number one at the same time.
It doesn't. So we'll jump to our next one, our next category.
All right. So the next category is Best Amazon Prime Film. This can be taken a couple different ways. You could take it as Prime exclusive, like the films they made themselves, or just ones that you can find on Prime. Mine's a mix of the two. My runner-up was, actually, no, sorry, pass it off to you.
Oh yeah, my runner-up was Midnight.
Nice.
I thought Midnight was an exceptionally well done movie this year. Excellent. Thai. It was a Thai film, I believe. Was it Thai?
I think it was.
No, it was South Korean. It was South Korean. Excellent film. Excellent antagonist. Excellent protagonist. Very, very good. People who haven't checked it out yet, please go watch it. But I enjoyed Ivana.
Nice.
Snuck that in at the end of the year. Thank you, Dave Bailey, for your recommendation. Thought it was a great possession ghost story. Great. It's continuing with a specific universe. So it's like whatever, like their version of the Conjuring universe, like this is a build onto that. And I really, really dug it. I thought it was a really good film. So those are my two for Prime.
Nice. Well, we did have one that was the same, but I will give my runner up first, which was not mentioned, and that is Run, Sweetheart, Run.
Good one as well.
Yeah. I like, kind of a heavy content, like with the whole, woman getting assaulted, basically.
Yeah.
But the way it is done is like, it doesn't show anything. It's very stylized and very break the fourth wall, because the antagonist I thought the antagonist was excellent. He was fucking creepy. He had like this like charm to him, like when he was being like a good guy, but when he turned it off to be like his evil part, he was frightening. And he was also, I love the fact that he's like talking to us as an audience going, you don't need to see this. And like uses his hand to like force the camera away from us, basically.
Well, and making us willingly a participant in the silence, right? And yeah, no, excellent film. Excellent film that came out on Prime. Again, Prime was slim pickings this year, but I would say those are the ones that really did rise.
Well, that was my runner-up.
I figured one was already the one that you chose, but
no, the one that I chose, the one that we both chose together though, was Midnight.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that, so
but I didn't say it, so
I know. Sorry, Scott, but we knew that it was the third one. There's only three that were like we both watched The Nanny. I think you watched The Nanny too.
Yeah,
right?
I stopped about halfway through.
It was disappointing.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Ivana, I had audio issues and never got a chance to get back to it.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely loved Midnight. The characters were just like amazing. The performances were amazing. The tension is extremely high. Once again, thank you, Dave Bailey, for introducing this one, bringing this one to our attention as well. But you got the next category.
Well, and that's interesting. 2 internationals and 1 like domestic, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of internationals so far, actually. Speak No Evil, Old People, When the Screaming Starts, Ivana, Midnight,
The Sadness,
like a lot of good international horror films. If you're not watching international horror, you really are missing out. Best Hulu film. So for me, I watched Hulu films through a good friend's Plex. I don't have Hulu. So I'll let Scotty go first with his runner-up and first choice.
All right. So for this one, I chose Hulu exclusives. Because there is a list of movies you could have picked from this, like that are on Hulu, but like The Cursed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what I ended up going with was just the ones that Hulu produced themselves, and they fucking nailed it this year. They did a lot of really good films. They did
great stuff this year, yeah.
But the runner-up was Prey, the prequel, like, Predator, because I just love that this was based in the 1700s, and like that you were following a Comanche tribe, that
Yes.
and that everyone like was from that Comanche tribe, like from a Comanche heritage.
Yeah.
Like, so there was just perfect casting. And the look of the Predator was more primitive, and I loved the look of it. It was terrifying. Yeah, the CGI animals are,
Yeah. You forgive it.
but man, I just had a blast with this film. It was just really just well done Predator film, which is rare to say nowadays because there hasn't been a good Predator film in a very long time.
Very true. Very true.
But my favorite Hulu exclusive film has to go to Hellraiser.
Nice.
The fucking 2022 readaptation starring Jamie Clayton as the Hell Priest herself. This film was everything I was hoping it to be. It had a great, interesting story. They actually focused more on the lore of the Lament configuration, or Lar Mashan's box, and like the different configurations it could turn into and what prizes they would give you for turning it into that. And the antagonists in this, whether it is the Cenobites or Voight himself, were all really good. And yeah, the look of the Cenobites, fucking incredible and creepy.
Absolutely.
Like, it is an amazing film, and I'm so happy to see a good Hellraiser again.
Nice. And that was my runner-up for every reason you said. And also I thought that they represented addiction well in this film.
Yes.
And the main protagonist, I like that she wasn't your traditional, like, she looked like someone that was going through alcohol and drug issues. And I thought they did a really good job of that. I really respected that about this film. My best Hulu film was Fresh. Fresh by Far. Yeah, you knew was definitely one of my favorite films this year. Great take on cannibalism, dating, everything. A narcissist, like great bad guy, excellent acting, great dialogue, excellent film. Not a lot of people talked about that one this year. I found, or they talked about it earlier on in the year, and we've kind of been overwhelmed with a bunch of other, in my opinion, mediocre other movies that came out in comparison. So I'm glad that we can, re-bring up some fresh ones here, so to say.
Fresh.
But both of us liked Hellraiser, and I think that really does speak to the fact that was a very good, I guess, sequel, prequel, reimagining, whatever you want to fucking call it. It was great. It was nice to bring it back to some seriousness and make it scary again.
100%. And I'm hoping they continue like making sequels with this world of Hellraiser.
Agreed. All
well,
right. Our next, that's me, right?
No, it's me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so the next category is Best Theatrical Release. Now, you all heard Heather and I's disagreement on what we thought of theatrical releases this year.
I turned heel.
You did. But yeah, I thought this year theatrical releases was fucking awesome. But, we'll give it all, hand it off to Heather to hear what her thoughts are.
Yeah, and I made no hint that my top 10 will have very, very few theatrical releases in it. I did not think this was a strong year for theaters. That being said, I think there were some standouts. Runner up for me is Barbarian. Excellent fucking film. Nice. The acting, the characters, the integrating stories, the main protagonist. Justin Long just being a piece of shit. Like, I don't know. Right. Like, there was just some really great stuff in this film, and I really, really enjoyed the filming of it, the putting together of it. It's what a solid movie should be. And Scott knows what my number one's going to be. Best theatrical release was Don't Worry, Darling. Oh. I think this movie are you surprised?
I was thinking it was something else.
No, Don't Worry, Darling definitely was a movie that will stick with me, that I recommend, that I think speaks other language. It's everything I wanted in a film. And it's a little light on the horror, but as you heard me talk about before, people use that argument and then they go in like something that has very little horror in it. So, right. I think that is probably the best theatrical release that came out this year, though there were some other strong theatrical performances. They just weren't for me. But there were some other great. The year of Ti West, I think I will still stand by. This was the year of Ti West. These are not Ti West films, but much respect for him and what he released this year.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, great choices. And yeah, I did not expect. I didn't think about Don't Worry, Darling. I was thinking Jordan Peele.
Oh yeah, like I like Nope a lot, but that wasn't nah. All
right, so my runner-up was Smile. I just loved this movie to pieces. I was doing a lot of rewatches towards the end of the year too. kind of like figure out like where everything's gonna go on my lists and all, and for the awards and stuff like that. And yeah, Smile, even on a rewatch, I loved it even more. It does a great job of basically representing trauma and how trauma always is with you no matter what, and you just got to learn how to cope with it. And like, yeah, obviously this is like a cursed film, kind of like along the lines of The Ring and It Follows, and it takes a lot of cues from that. But I found it did it in a very, very entertaining way, and you had a lot of jump scares, but for once, I can say that most of these jump scares felt well earned. Like they were,
I
it was
agree.
creepy.
I agree.
But my number one film, Heather did mention it, and that is Barbarian. I
Yeah.
fucking love this film. This was so much fun to see in theaters because I went in not knowing a damn thing about this film. And man, did it have me like second guessing everything and being completely wrong, like, and just completely wrapped. Like, I just love how it's filmed. It's filmed like it's three different movies wrapped into one, with the different acts that it has. And it's shot so beautifully with the cinematography. And they couldn't have chose a better location for a creepy neighborhood, like in that, I think it was Belvedere or something like that in Detroit. And because that place does look like that, and it's very, very unsafe.
Have you been there?
Scary. I was there a long time ago as a dumb teenager.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you don't want to go there.
No,
Like,
you don't want to go down that road.
And even back then, it was like better than what it showed, but it was
Really?
still, but it was, you could tell it was falling apart, like that area. But yeah, for a director, once again, a director that is known for his comedy stuff. Like I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. I thought this was just amazing. It had a lot of tension, great characters. Justin Long being a fucking just
piece of shit
that is totally doing the whole Me Too movement and embracing that slimy role. Like, but yeah, this movie, excellent.
He really does play a slime ball well.
Oh, he does.
He really does.
Yeah, it was that, he is definitely the male scream queen now.
Oh, he 100% is. Like, how could he not be, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you had those as well. That's cool.
Yes, I guess we can move on to the next category.
Yeah, well, Tubi originals, right? So this was the year of Tubi as well. When Scott and I first agreed to do the Tubi watch, I don't think we thought that we were going to actually really like a bunch of Tubi films. I think we just thought, hey, Uncorked isn't putting out much right now. Let's switch it over and do Tubi. And I really enjoyed some of these Tubi films.
Yeah, same.
Honorable mention to the Bachelor one. That was hilarious.
Final Rose.
Final Rose. That shit was jokes. Not a good movie by any stance, but really fucking funny. So, I definitely recommend it to people. If you want to watch something that's just really, really silly. But for me, the runner, oh wait, no, it's for you because I'm introducing it. Sorry.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, so for me, the runner-up was Bed Rest. I thought this was a very good, like, well-produced film with really good acting and a lot of like tension. It's about a mother to be that basically starts having issues like with the pregnancy, where she is told, you have to stay in bed for the next 8 weeks. Do not do a damn thing or you're going to lose this baby. And they just moved into this new house, and yeah, basically the house is haunted. And it's very, very well done. Like, I was this was like one that came out towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
But for me, my favorite of the Tubi originals was Requiem for a Scream. I found this one just to be a very fun slasher. And I think it was like they went to a cabin in the woods type ski resort thing, and yeah, just kept getting picked off one by one, and I just enjoyed the characters, even the asshole character, like asshole woman in this one, and just the drama that was going on there just made this very entertaining. And then I found the kills to be very fun, and just an all around entertaining slasher film.
So I said the same thing, only reversed.
Really?
Yeah, Requiem for a Scream was my runner-up, and Bed Rest was my first.
That's awesome. Nice.
So yeah, so shouts out Tubi. Keep going, Tubi. You got this. Let's see what you got in 2023 for entertainment factor. Right. So now we're moving more away from streaming, and this is the part where Scott and I give awards for, specific things or themes that happen in a film. So the first one is Best Bloodbath. So, Scotty,
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So for this Best Bloodbath, the way I look at the bloodbath category is just a very violent multiple deaths type scenario. So for me, I ended up going with my runner-up, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Bus Massacre, because Leatherface just fucking slaughtering all those Gen Zers, and you finally get a chainsaw massacre.
Yes.
In a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, and it was fucking glorious.
Agreed.
But my number one for this was the sadness on the subway car massacre, when the main character is on the bus, and the guy next to her is just being like one of those misogynistic assholes that's like, hey, what do they call incels, basically. He's like, hey, I'm talking to you, like, why aren't you talking back to me? I'm a nice guy type thing. And then all of a sudden he just turns, and then everybody just starts killing each other, and others get turned, and others start killing each other, and just it gets like the floor is coated in blood, the walls coated in blood, people are just getting ripped apart in violent ways. Like, it's just gruesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the two that stuck out to me this year.
Absolutely. Fucking awesome. My runner-up was Feed Me. I felt like there was some pretty epic blood in that film. With the thing with Feed Me is it's slow.
Yeah.
He's eating this dude slowly, and this dude is bleeding slowly. So for majority of the movie, he's bleeding and covered in blood and bleeding out at a very slow pace, and he's removing appendages from him and all this. He murders his date in the bathroom at a Chinese restaurant. It's just gonzo. So a different look that I gave to Bloodbath, but to me it was just blood throughout. And then of course Terrifier 2. I think Terrifier 2 this year delivered when it came to blood. Lots of blood.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Human blood, animal blood, make-believe blood, real blood, all the blood. All the blood. Fake blood in bathrooms, real blood in bathrooms. It was all in this film. So congratulations, Terrifier 2, for making us all bleed. And same to The Sadness as well. Both really stood out and gory and disturbing, I think, as well. Right?
Yes. And so the next category is Best Kill. Which, so like, this is one where like I look at it as like a single kill that just stood out to you.
So funny that you said the bus scene, because that's my best kill.
Nice.
My runner-up. So I really felt like that bus scene was excellent for the kills that occurred in it. It was just slice and dicing. And then the best kill goes to Terrifier 2, the bedroom scene.
That is mine. That's my number one. Yep.
The most drawn out, ridiculous kill you could think of, but man, was it well done. And I can understand for people that aren't seasoned horror fans making them uncomfortable. Absolutely. Right. But like, for those of us who've been around a while, we know what we were walking into. But yeah, it was intense.
Yeah. So I'll give my runner-up and then just talk quickly about my thoughts on that. But my runner-up was in Barbarian, AJ's death, which is the death of what's his name? We just talked about him, the asshole, Justin Long. Justin Long's character at the very end, where she just basically grabs him from behind around the face and just splits his head open.
Awesome.
It's not the goriest kill, but it's the best kill just because of how much of a piece of shit he is, and see the shit that happened to him at the end there. Mm-hmm. And then the alley bedroom scene in Terrifier 2, it is so fucking mean-spirited, and so much happens to this poor girl. Like, she should not be alive at all at the end, but I mean, she gets her arm broke off and ripped off.
Oh, crazy.
Fucking scalped, her eyes sliced open. Yeah. Fucking like, she gets the scalpel in the back, and then he just rips her back open, and then not only that, then he starts pouring salt on her, and then he fucking just starts ripping apart her leg and eating parts of her while she's still alive. It's like, Jesus Christ, like the shit this poor girl went through in this scene, and it's all shown to you in just bloody gory detail. Like, so props to the special effects. And yeah, this is the scene where 3 people walked out of the theater when I watched it on the big screen, and there's good reason.
Yeah, it can be intense, right? For people, if that's not like, if you don't know that's what you're walking into, I get it, right? Like, I get it. So our next one is someone you can get behind, and 2 people can be named here. So Scotty.
All right, so I kind of sort of cheated a little bit. So I could not find the so what I'm gonna say is Jin Ki-ju as Kim Kyung-mi and her mother in Midnight. I could not find the mother's name because on IMDb there was no picture. It was just all like besides
Aw.
just the main girl. So I cannot give the actress's name. I don't know which one it was. But I found them to be just like you wanted them to just survive. Like you felt for them. They were just such
Mm-hmm.
characters you could root for. And I just absolutely was behind them all the way through the film, and like even made me tear up a little bit with some of the stuff that what they were going through. The other character though was David Hall in Day of Disappearance.
Yeah.
I just loved this. He was just a lovable, dorky nerd that I just loved, and it's just like this very independent found footage film, and there really wasn't a lot going on horror wise, but he was the main thing on the screen, and I just adored him. I thought he was just like a sweet, lovable nerd, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, my two are Noah from Fresh, the female protagonist.
nice.
I thought she did a good job of being smart and trying to outsmart the dude who was keeping these women to kill them. And she knew that was going to be her fate and basically manipulating his feelings for her. And Sienna from Sienna from
Yep,
Terrifier
yeah,
2.
yeah,
I thought she was excellent. Great final girl, very badass. What more could you want? She did a great job, and I
yeah,
look forward to seeing her back again.
yeah. I fucking love her. She just did such an amazing job.
Awesome.
So the next one is someone who you can hate or fear, and two can be named here. So what did you choose, Heather?
So you'll give the proper name for them, I'm sure, but if you chose these groups, Soft and Quiet, the white assholes is what I called them. Though they're what are they considered?
The Aryans.
The Aryans.
I think is what it is. Aryans, like basically Nazis.
Like an Aryan, yeah, they're basically Nazis. And they're pieces of shit. And these women did a really great job of presenting a bunch of racist pieces of shit. So very good acting, and I do believe it's acting because I think if you really do think that way, you're not going to be in a movie that's kind of villainizing you. You're going to be in a movie that's like for you. So obviously they had to pull from an area that they probably really don't feel about the way that they presented that film, and that requires more talent in order to be able to do that. And then someone who I thought was a real bully this year that really didn't get acknowledged. I think this movie got pushed over because some people found it annoying, was Alex from Sissy. I thought Alex was a real piece of shit to Sissy. And like, I understood why Alex didn't like her because of something that Sissy did when they were kids. But to me, it wasn't worth the mistreatment that Sissy was given.
Right.
She was bullied and ostracized to the point that when she fights back, I didn't really feel bad for anyone in that film. I felt like I was rooting for her the entire time. So those were some characters I thought that did a good job of making you either not care about them because you hated them so much, or really, really hate them and be like, these guys are pieces of shit. I wish like vigilante judge justice would come through and I could get to them, kind of thing, right?
Yep, I totally get that. And yeah, I'm kind of right there with you with my picks in a way. So the Aryan group from Soft and Quiet was one of them because yep, just fuck those types of people, and I hated everything. I wanted everything bad to happen to them, and unfortunately, that film did not do that.
No.
It leads to possibly something bad happening to them down like towards at the very end, but who knows? The other one though is someone that you pretty much are following the entire movie as your main character, and I could not fucking stand her, and that is because of my political beliefs, and that is Annie Hardy from Dashcam, the freaking psycho MAGA freaking Trump supporter, anti-masker, anti-vaxxer that's just like spouting her opinions and just basically doing everything that you would roll your eyes at to someone in real life. And unfortunately, these type of people exist.
They sure do, don't they, Scotty?
Yeah.
They sure do. You know, we should talk about Rob Humphreys on the show like that. But right, Rob?
Oh, Rob.
Rob's always like, Heather, he'll make America great again. Listen to Slasher Radio for more of Rob's views politically. You'll hear
man.
what are they called? MAGA?
MAGA, yeah. Make America great again.
MAGA, that's right. Our next one, oh wait, no, it's your turn, right? No, my turn?
Yep, it's your turn.
Track that. My turn, okay. Best tearjerker moment in horror. Oh man, this I had to think about. I'm like, was I sad at all this year?
I know.
Back.
It took me a little bit, but
Right?
as soon as I seen the movies, I'm like, oh, yep,
I
okay.
had to really think about it, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
All right, so my runner up was the death of Candido in All the Moons, the priest,
Aww.
the guy that brought in
Yeah.
the little girl and like was raising her while she was like basically, she's a vampire and he's raising her. And unfortunately, as the years go on, he gets old and sick and passes away. And I just found that scene when she's by his bedside, like taking his last breath, and the like what they were saying to each other was just it made me tear up. It was just a very sad moment. And then my my main one was the death of Lee in Bones and All, the Marin's basically boyfriend.
Yeah.
And that made me just sad. Like I knew it was going to happen because that's just how that type of film always plays out. Like
Yeah.
I called it from the beginning, but it still hit me in the feels.
You know what? We're gonna have such different answers for this.
I had a feeling.
They live in the gray, the ghost reveal.
Mm.
When you realize that the ghost is protecting the little girl, and then you see what the mom is doing, trying to do to the little girl, and you realize all along that the ghost was like, there's a part where she throws a little girl in the closet, pushes the dresser in front, and stands in front, and it makes me emotional talking about it. Like, I just find that scene very powerful, that this ghost was, who everyone thought was the bad, was actually trying to protect this little girl from her mother, who was abusing her.
Yeah, that was a very just like,
right?
That was heartfelt right there when I seen that. I was just like,
right?
Oh.
And it's a movie that I think got swept under the rugs. It was released earlier this year, and not a lot of people watched it. And I think it's a really good movie to go back and watch on Shudder. And then the other one, the boyfriend dying in the sadness.
Oh yeah.
Like, he goes through so much to save her, to get to her. And then like it all goes to shit. Yeah. I remember being like, oh fuck, like come on. We could have trained us on this up a little bit and made it kind of a happy ending.
No.
Like, no, this was just like, no fucking happiness for you. Like, so those were the two that stood out for me this year.
Yeah, we definitely had different versions in this one. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So on from tearjerker moments to best feel good film.
Oh,
and this one because I remember messaging you and I was losing my damn mind going, what is a feel good film? There was nothing that had like a feel good ending is kind of what I was looking for. And I couldn't think of anything that had a feel good ending. So I went with more like lighthearted stuff. So I'll pass it on to you to see what you ended up picking.
Well, I just chose one for this.
Right.
And that was Cursed Friends.
That's one of mine.
I think about it now and it makes me laugh. Like, it's just so like, don't take it seriously for people in their like late 30s and 40s making fun of shit. Like the part where the guy's listening to Running Up That Hill. It's so funny. I'm laughing away at it right now. And I guess a little special acknowledgement to Spirit Halloween. That was a very cute, feel good, little funny movie to this year that came out. But yeah, Cursed Friends to me was a feel good. Like, I'll watch that movie again because I thought it was so fucking funny. I'm laughing just thinking about it. It was so funny. I loved it.
And it's hilarious because Spirit Halloween was my runner up and Cursed Friends was my pick. So yes, you nailed it. Like, nice. They're both just lighthearted. Spirit Halloween was more of a lighthearted, family-friendly Halloween hocus pocus style film, where Cursed Friends was just more just laugh your ass off. Nothing's scary in it. It's just all being absolutely silly.
Like
but
when
it's
they're
just
in the
so
truck
fun.
and he's like, you know what they say about guys with big trucks? She's like, no, you don't have to say. He's like, no, I do. You don't know what I'm going to say. I have a small penis.
Yeah, I know. I love that scene so much.
It's so funny. And Spirit Halloween's just super cute.
Yeah.
It's just super cute. Christopher Lloyd's great. His voice acting in it is awesome.
Oh, he's always fun.
Yeah, right? But yeah, we didn't have a lot of like feel good. Yeah, it was definitely more of a like, I don't know. I didn't find any real strong emotions came from me this year. Except for a couple.
Yeah, I'll say there were some strong emotions, but just not in the like feeling good emotions.
Yeah, no, there wasn't feeling good. No. Punch in the gut. So this is where you're like, oh, like uncomfortable. whatever, however you interpret it. So Scotty, what was your punch in the gut this year?
Oh man, so my runner up for this was Speak No Evil, the last third act when the family gets picked back up by the people they were staying with, and they end up cutting the little girl's tongue out and stealing her away. And then just obviously this is where Tim Davis got upset, because like the parents didn't really fight as much as he thought they should have. But these parents were kind of cowards in that way.
They
but
were.
like not only, having that happen to your little daughter, but then to also get brought out into the middle of nowhere and then stoned to death. And just like, there is no happy ending there. That was just a dark, just punch in the gut moment there. But my main award for this goes to Soft and Quiet. Just
we had the
whole fucking film. God damn.
Oh man, the whole film was angry. So Scott and I had the same thing for this, by the way.
Like even runner up and everything.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Yeah.
This hasn't happened the last couple of years. Like we had some similarities, but not both.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you did a great job of describing. I don't need to add anything to Speak No Evil. And I think for Soft and Quiet, like it's you feel like you're spying on a conversation, and you keep hoping somebody's going to change their mind, or someone's a mole and they're not.
Yeah, or you're hoping that
pieces of shit.
Or you're hoping that one of these characters survives and somehow gets revenge on them towards the end or something. And like obviously someone survives, but it's no revenge, unfortunately. It's just fucking punch.
Soft and Quiet too. Fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Scott and I, we're gonna make the movie. We're gonna go after these actors.
Soft and Quiet too. Fuck the Nazis.
Oh man, but those were two fucking punches in the guts, man.
Yeah,
they were.
All right, so the next category is all the feelings, relationships. So this one can be like family relations, or it can be like romantic relations. So I'm kind of curious to see where Heather went with this one, so I will pass it on to you.
So my runner-up is Shut In. I thought the love this mother had for her children, as she's locked in a closet and there's a known sex offender out there with her kids, and she's trying to protect them and keep this guy away from her children while being so helpless, was very, very emotional for me. And I think it showed the strength that she had of the relationships with her children. And Scott's going to be really shocked by this one. I did not love this film, but I do think the relationship between the two main characters was what it was supposed to be, and it's love, bones and all. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have one similar. My runner-up was I don't know if you ever ended up watching this one, Heather, but Madeline's.
No.
But yeah, this one stars. It is the romantic relationship between Madeline and Owen. Madeline was played by Brea Grant, and Owen was by Perry Shen. They are a husband and wife science team, basically, that figure out time travel. And when Madeline decides to test it on herself, she goes back in time and comes back. But then when she comes back, she has now created multiple versions of herself that are showing up from different realities, and they have to kill off their other versions, and just the stress and toll it takes on Perry.
So kind of like Duel.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, kind of like Duel.
Yeah,
another sleeper hit of this year that a lot of people didn't talk about.
Yeah, 100%. And but no, the emotions that you see Perry Shen going through as he's having to kill off his different versions of his wife over and over and over, because every single day at the exact same time a new Madeline will appear, and they have to constantly kill her off, and it's just a toll on him, and a toll obviously on Madeline herself. And but you see that love that they have for each other, and it's just all the feelings. And then of course bones and all, Marin and Lee's relationship, it is just young romance. They find that connection. You find that someone that basically shares a certain connection with you, and they are just with each other through the end. And it's it took me for a roller coaster of feelings.
All the feels, right? That's why we have that there. Didn't see that coming. There was a lot of twist endings this year.
Yeah.
There was. Okay, I'm going to give one just now. That's not my choice, but I just got to acknowledge Orphan 2, or whatever the Orphan fucking prequel was. Slow clap. I went into that movie thinking that was going to be a big piece of shit, but the reveal of that movie made that movie fucking hilarious.
Yep, that is my runner-up.
I would just wanted to give it a random shout out because it's not really a great plot twist, but it's funny.
it's as our title for this award says. We didn't see it coming.
Didn't see it coming. Didn't see that. Oh man, if you haven't seen Orphan, you got to watch this prequel. It's jokes. Like it really is. It's jokes.
You if you go in expecting Orphan all over again, you'll be in for a surprise, because that's both what Heather and I went in thinking. I think almost everybody went in thinking, okay, this is just gonna be more of the same. And yeah, when that twist happens, it's just like, what the? Okay, I'm on board for this. This is gonna be fun.
Right.
But no, my main one was Old Man. And it was the conversation. I forget the character's name, but the old man and the young guy that shows up at his house.
Yeah.
The old man has gone like completely crazy. Like he's just isolated in this cabin, and he's just been staying like out in this mountainside, no one around. And this guy just randomly shows up, and like they just basically have this confrontation. And then you realize that basically this old man has been suffering Alzheimer's and a bit of dementia, and he is hallucinating. The reveal is he is hallucinating that he is talking to himself as a younger version, when the young version of himself ran into the woods to hide in the cabin. And but you don't realize that's what's happening until the very end, when all this shit gets revealed. There's more to this twist that I'm not going to say, but yeah, just finding out that it's like, oh, he's just seeing himself and talking to himself this whole time. And this happens to him every single day, and he forgets it, and it happens again.
Oh, so he has some kind of like dementia, Alzheimer's kind of thing. Okay.
And so it's just kind of heartbreaking and sad to see that happen. You're like, oh shit. But yeah, excellent movie, and that twist just caught me completely off guard.
Nice. My real runner-up was Fall. Like, there's a scene in Fall where I was like, what the fuck? And like, I didn't expect much from that film. You know, it was a pretty basic, we're gonna climb a tower. Uh-oh.
Yep.
SpaghettiOs.
We're stuck on the tower now.
But there's a part where you think a character's one thing, and then you're like, oh fuck, oh no dear.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pickle. And then my number one was Glorious.
Nice. Oh yeah, that
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that one was a nice shock.
Nope. Very, very well done, very well acted and delivered. That fucking nailed it. So yeah.
Nice. Great choice. See, I didn't think about Glorious, but yeah, that's a great choice.
Right.
So yeah, I guess we get to go on to surprisingly low budget. I will pass it on to you, but there is one I will give a shout out to afterwards that's not on my honorable.
You give it out now. Give it now.
But I just want to give a shout out to fucking Terrifier 2 for a $250,000 film that ended up making $11 something million in fucking theater when we did not expect it to. That is just fucking impressive, and like what it shows for that budget is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. It was low budget done right. Yeah. But they had more money than they did the first time around, but they also made the movie a little longer.
Yeah.
Surprisingly low budget. All Eyes, I thought, was
nice.
An example of low budget done right. Very, very well done film. It's available on Tubi, about podcaster and trying to redeem himself and conspiracy theory. It's quite good. Scott's already mentioned this one, but Deadstream, I think, is another example of what you can do with very little and good directing, good storytelling, and good acting.
100%. Yeah. For me, I went with two that are on Tubi. My runner-up is going to be bringing it up again, Day of Disappearance.
Excellent film. Excellent.
I'm not sure what the budget was, but there had to be like very, very, very little budget of it, because there wasn't a lot to this film. But another one that I'm going to bring up is one that our good friend Brandon Orlick suggested I check out, and that was Grotesque. It was also on Tubi, and this one is basically just a very lighthearted, silly slasher, extremely low budget. The effects are not the greatest, but it is the acting in this that just makes this fun. And Agreed. It's just a lot of kills. Like, and she's basically Angela from Sleepaway 2.
She absolutely
Sleepaway
is.
Camp 2.
Absolutely. Which one are we on now?
So, Worth the High Budget.
Worth the High Budget. You know, I had to think about that one this year. I was like, which one was actually worth? Because then I thought like high budget, like certain movies, I didn't choose this one. So it's a Barbarian, for example. Like it had a budget, but I wouldn't say it was like,
Yeah, it was only Barbarian only had a $4 million budget.
yeah, like that's not to me like a lot of money. That's not a
No.
lot of money at all. Right. So I'm interested to hear which ones you chose.
All right. So, because yeah, this is where I was like going through all like the
Like
big
you actually
theatrical.
went through the budgets.
Yep, I went through the theatrical releases and went through the big budgets of them all and just like seen and went with what I thought was worth it. For me, the runner-up was Halloween Ends. It was a budget of 33 million. But my pick for this award goes to Don't Worry, Darling at 35 million. Like I just thought that was such a well-made film. That was your pick too?
Yeah, it sure was.
Nice.
So Don't Worry, Darling, and I put Hellraiser.
Yeah, see, I was trying to find the budget for Hellraiser. I couldn't.
I figured it was high because they had a lot of makeup.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought
right?
too, yeah.
So I kind of just went with the thought that it was a very high budget and they spent a lot of money. So those were my two. We had the same. And Don't Worry, Darling was just a theatrical masterpiece. It really, really was well done, right?
So the next award is most politically relevant. There's quite a few on this one that it could have chose from, but we have our very political podcaster on my side, so I'm very curious to hear what her thoughts are. Heather.
So I think there were two that there was actually a lot of political movies this year, to be quite honest. Anytime you have a year with Jordan Peele, you have a political movie.
Right.
You had some other really great ones that came out on Prime that may not be seen as a horror movie. So I decided to go with the ones that most people would find most horror and most relevant. And they're tied for me. Take Back the Night and Soft and Quiet. I think were two examples of very relevant reflection of violence against women. The victim blaming that it's a problem. Yet again, it's a problem. And I'm so tired of hearing, well, not all men, of course, not all men, but there's a problem and it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So, and then also the blatant racism in Soft and Quiet and classism and the subtle racism and so many issues in that film. And that's like watching a real conversation. When you're watching someone argue that she wasn't promoted because someone else who's of a different ethnicity got promoted over her because of that ethnicity, when you can kind of tell that in that whole conversation, she's not a team leader. Like she's not. She doesn't have strong leadership skills. I figured that out from the fucking conversation. I'm like, no wonder you didn't make it to manager. I can tell here you can't fucking manage your own life, let alone you're not presenting the skills that would be needed. This person probably did. And now you're trying to find another reason for it.
Exactly.
Right. And I thought those two movies to me really stood out.
Yep. I had a feeling both of those would be on your list. One of them I share with you, and that is the runner-up, Take Back Tonight.
Nice.
Because this one shows not only do men not believe what a woman has gone through with this, but also women not believing that
women
another woman
shaming
could
women.
go. Yeah. And it's just, it's difficult to watch because of that. But my pick for this award went to The Desperate Hour. Because for America, this is
shooting
so fucking relevant still to this day.
Yeah, fuck, you're right. Fuck.
Oh. So that one was a tough one right there. And then that's the word goes next word. You can
it's mine, right? So most reflective of 2022.
Yep. So this, these two the two categories right here kind of go back and forth with each other.
They do.
There's a little bit of similarities to them, but I was looking at what would be more reflective of this year, specifically, and definitely after all the shit that went down politically with drawing a blank here, January 6th. Fucking attacks, the break-ins of the White House and stuff like that. Soft and Quiet just is my runner-up for that because these people are still out there causing all sorts of problems and just causing havoc and just being pieces of shit, and racism unfortunately will never ever go away. But what I found to be my number one pick was Don't Worry, Darling. It's that whole wishing you were still back in the 50s where women cooked and cleaned mentality and shit like that and didn't have a job and this and that and just basically
like Rob Humphrey's dream.
Yeah. Like men running the show while women do all the housework and nothing else.
Absolutely. I think that's two really great examples. I kind of went the similar route. Reflective of 2022. I watched a little film It's a Canadian film, and it was at an Indigenous community. These kids were not actors. They had an acting coach come in and teach them how to act, which I found their acting better than some other shit that I've seen. It was made by CBC, and I think it's about time we reflect the Indigenous community in a positive light, and that's called Flashback. And I think as a Canadian, I think you should watch this film. And I don't care how that fucking sounds.
Yep.
I think we need to celebrate our Indigenous people that we stole this land from and that we have put in residential schools and ruined a lot of people's lives. So,
yeah.
And that's not the only reason to watch their art. You should watch their art because it's enlightening. But this is a pretty fucking good little creature feature. And it's pretty honest about how police are seen in these communities. It's pretty honest, and I think that it does a good job of taking these kids who aren't actors and giving them a chance to play roles. I actually thought they did quite good for having an acting coach come in and teach them how to act. Like, yeah, it really bothered me. I saw a post shitting on this, and it really bothered me actually a lot.
I could tell.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude, like they weren't actors. They had, if you did some research, you would know that someone came in and they trained them how to act. So, like, yeah, I get it. It doesn't have to be our number one film of the year. And you don't have to like be like, oh my God, but like at least understand that I've seen other big blockbuster movies that came out this year that had worse acting in it than this movie. So
yeah,
you know, anyway, so that one, and also Master, which was a movie that was available on Prime. And it reflected an individual who's Black's experience in the post-secondary system. And from someone who works at a post-secondary institution, I can tell you it's 100% accurate. And I say this with confidence because I shared it with some of my Black colleagues. And I said, you know, as a white woman, I don't really like, I think this is what happens, but I would love to hear your perspective if you're comfortable. Got back to me. They're like, Heather, you're 100% right. That is exactly conversations that I've had said around me, to me, how I've been made to feel 100%. So I think those two movies, not overly, especially Master's not overly strong in horror, but I think it's very, very relevant to 2022 and the factors that we're facing and the way that we're trying to build true equity among everybody. You know, like less pie, don't worry, less pie for white people ain't going to change our place on the food chain. It's all right.
Right, exactly.
Pretty high up there, guys. You know, it's about making sure there's equity for everyone and everyone has true chances to be able to obtain success. So I thought those movies were great for that this year, those two.
Yeah, that was like good choices because I didn't even think about Master. Because that was one I watched so long ago. I just forgot about it.
And that's the problem. Sometimes we watch this stuff back in February, January, March, and then like, you know, December comes and we're like, yeah, what did I see again? Like, that's why Letterboxd, you know, sounds like a promo again for Letterboxd, but why Letterboxd is so great, right? Like you can go in and look to see.
And I have to, like, I didn't even give my praises to Letterboxd, but thankfully for Letterboxd, this is how I was able to like actually have runners up this time around, because I actually created the awards for myself on a private page on Letterboxd and was like dragging and dropping all the movies that I thought fit those categories as I was watching them. So that way, when it came time to pick the awards, I'm just going, okay, let me look through these. All right, these ones were the best out of this category. And I actually had them all lined up there. Didn't have to sit there and do like a lot of thinking.
Makes it so much easier, doesn't it?
It does.
Right?
So yeah, I guess the next one is one of our favorite categories, overhyped. Heather.
Oh man, this is super easy for me. Scream 2022. Get the fuck out of here. Honestly, if I have to hear any more about Scream 6, fuck off. You know what I'm looking forward to? Cocaine Bear and Blood and Honey and Megan and anything else than another Scream film. But hey, it will make money, gives people acting opportunities. The main chick's in it's fine. I just didn't need another Scream movie. And the other one is Halloween Ends. And can I add in hearing horror fans complain about Halloween Ends? That kind of goes in together for me. The fighting about Scream 2022 and Halloween Ends was the most fucking annoying fighting I've heard in years. The whining about those movies or like the arguing in favor of.
Surprisingly though, I mean, you picked great choices, but surprisingly, we had a different choice for this.
Oh my God. What do you think was the most overhyped?
I don't have a runner up. There was only one film, but I mean, Scream 2022 is similar to what I picked. I picked Five Cream.
Yes, definitely Five Cream.
Scream 5 20 or Scream 2022 or Five Cream, however you want to call it. I call it Five Cream. Thanks to Rob Humphrey. But way overhyped. Like, you know, I get that, you know, there are fans for this franchise, but I watched this and I swear I rolled my eyes so fucking hard during this film I seen my brain. It was
Yeah.
just I don't get it. It was I am not the target audience for this. I mean, yeah,
No.
like I'll go see Scream 6 just because I try to support horror whenever I can and just hope that, they will do something unique and different. But
Well, they're in
unfortunately,
Manhattan.
yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully it's Vancouver, Manhattan.
Only if it's Vancouver, Manhattan will be the best Manhattan, to be honest.
Yes, exactly.
With you, right? Underhyped. Oh yeah, underhyped. Sorry, your turn.
Well, no, I'll say that's your category.
Oh, right, underhyped. Scott.
All right.
What was underhyped?
I only had one for this one as well.
Okay.
And when I went with underhyped, it's just one that I felt didn't get talked about nearly enough, and that is Midnight.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it just
100%.
silently got put. I think it just got dropped on Prime, and unless you were digging for movies to watch, you would have never known this film existed. And
Agreed.
that is unfortunate because Midnight is just a phenomenal film all the way around.
I couldn't agree with you more. I felt two underhyped films this year. Barbarian did not get the push in this community that it should have. And Fresh, I felt were two films that were fucking phenomenal that belong on almost everybody's top 10.
Yeah, I will say I have a feeling Barbarian will be on a lot of people's top 10s.
I hope so. I just feel like so much talk about Scream and Halloween Ends and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Pearl and X. I feel like Barbarian got like this year's Night House.
Yeah.
It was a film that I don't want to say real cinema goers, but people that maybe watch more than your low-hanging cinema fruit.
Yeah.
Watched this year. And very, very, very well done horror film.
Yeah, great choices there. Oh, and
yeah.
This is another one of my favorite categories coming up now, though.
This is where we get angry. It's our anger categories.
It's not horror. Yes, it is.
Mine is pretty quick for this. Don't worry, darling.
Nice.
I feel like a lot of people shit on that and say it's not a horror movie. I don't fucking care. It's awesome. It is. It's great. Everyone should watch it. Best movie of the year.
Yep, mine. And that what? Okay, did you have a runner up or was it just
no,
that one? Okay,
just that one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good choice because that was my runner up. Don't worry, darling. And my number one pick, just because I've heard so many people argue if it's horror or not, and that is Nope by Jordan Peele.
What?
I have heard so
for
many
fuck's
people.
sakes, it's a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, they're like, it's science fiction. It's about an alien, but I'm like, no, it's fucking horror. It's they're like, once again, peel back the layers, people. Jordan Peele, literally, just he's like an onion. You peel the layers back, and there's horror of all sorts in this film.
Right. Oh my gosh. All right. So going on that, science fiction. Is it science fiction? Is it horror? Who cares? It's good.
Yeah, another one of my favorites. So this one I had for my runner-up, Prey, because I've heard people arguing that one if it was sci-fi or not. But the one that I gave the award to is Benson and Moorhead's new film, Something in the Dirt.
Nice.
And that is the one where it's these two guys that are like living in like the same apartment complex, and they decide to create a documentary thinking that they've caught paranormal something or others happening in the house. And if you know Benson and Moorhead, they skirt the line of horror. It's more just like a think piece and a real look at how people look at this as a way to make money. And it's a very fascinating movie.
Nice. I love it. I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to watch it. For me, it was Duel. I think Duel was an excellent fucking science fiction, well acted, delivered movie that I like. A lot of people will skip over it. Again, excellent film, Duel.
Yeah, that is a great one too.
I think it's on demand unless it's available somewhere in the States.
Yeah, I think it is just
on demand. Yeah, very, very good science fiction-y. What would you do if you could clone yourself and then you're going to die, so you clone yourself and then you're not going to die and you and your clone have to duel out to the death. Like, it's a pretty cool concept, actually. So that is mine.
All right. So the next category is A Little Too Real. There's a lot of those this year.
Yeah. I think we're going to hear an echo chamber, unfortunately, but I know we've talked about this movie a lot, but I'm going to say Soft and Quiet for me. And that's my only one. That one was just a little too real. The conversations felt a little too reflective. It felt like I was actually watching this shit happen for me.
Yeah, that is one that I had been going back and forth with, but I went with a couple others because these ones have not really gotten talked about much. And this one, I'm actually shocked you did not have as a runner-up or on your category because you had talked about it so much in the beginning when we watched it. And that is my runner-up, They Them. The whole what do they call that with the conversion camps?
Yeah, that was really, you're right. That was a little too real.
Like
that's a really good choice, Scotty.
Yeah, that one, like it's just stuck with me since then. I'm like, yeah, it's not a great slasher or whatever, but like the fact that it's like the reality of just, these conversion camps are a thing and what these fucking do.
The horror in that was the conversations and the hate and like, as a heterosexual person, I can't understand that.
Yeah.
My sexual preference is presented everywhere I go. People assume I'm straight. I am straight. I have no idea what it's like to be ostracized for my sexual preference.
Right.
And I think I'm really glad you brought that to the table. I didn't think of that one, and that is fucking right on the money.
Yeah. Like that one was just that one, like these two that I'm going to mention are basically could have either one taken the award.
Mm-hmm.
But the next one is Take Back the Night. Just
another one. Excellent.
Because once again, this one, like, yeah, we talked about it a little bit about how it's just like, a woman gets assaulted, but and no one believes her. But the reason no one believes her is because she is a drug addict, or she was a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone just thinks, oh, just because you're on drugs or you're fucked up or you're just all sort like, but no one believes her because of that. And unfortunately, that happens way too fucking often.
It does happen. You're right. Good picks.
Well, thank you.
All right. Best horror documentary.
Ooh, all right. So there was one that I really wish I would have watched, and that was the one that you ended up watching. It was like that 3.5 hour long like folk documentary.
Yeah, the folk horror one. Yeah, it was really good.
I wanted to watch that, never got a chance to get around to it. But my runner-up was Pennywise, The Story of It. I thought that was just a very fascinating, like in-depth look at that TV miniseries and just like all the details they went into with the people they talked to. But just because this was kind of a thing that occurred to me this year and my absolute newfound love for the found footage genre, I went with the found footage phenomenon, because that just was so fascinating to like see how many found footage films there were and when it started and like how it just like built from where it is to where it was to where it is now as a genre. And like the films they brought up, like it gave me a lot to look for.
Samesies.
Nice.
Yeah, I loved the found footage one. I thought it was really inclusive, how it covered all the different levels of found footage and stuff that I didn't even think about, to be honest, and how it kind of mapped it up to today and how found footage can be done good, like done right kind of thing. And we watched a lot of good found footage this year, and I think that really kind of tied in. I liked the Pennywise one. It didn't get runner up for me, but I really did like the found footage one. I watched it twice. I liked it so much.
Did you really? Nice.
Yeah, I found it that interesting. Scott knows I don't watch anything twice because I think it's a waste of time. So if I watch something twice, it's because I liked it.
Exactly. Yeah, that says a lot right there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Sure. Good old Shuddy. Thanks, Shuddy.
Shuddy. But yeah, the next category, and this one also had a lot of good options. Best international film.
Yeah, this was a good year for international
horror. This one was tough for me.
Yeah, it really was. Old People got runner up for me. I thought that was actually a really good take on our mature population and how we treat them and what would happen if they rebelled and had super old people strength. And Midnight, we've talked a lot about it already. That movie is a sleeper hit. The fucking villain in that is excellent. The protagonists are amazing. Great film. Really, really good film.
Yep. And that is my number one award right there too, is Midnight. Because for everything you said, like it was a sleeper hit and it's just an amazing, well-made, well-acted film. But I did give a runner-up to one that we have not brought up yet, and I figure I thought it deserved some attention, and that is Piggy.
Yeah.
I wish they would have not released it with the overdubbing and actually released it as natural language. But I found the story to be just like, you really felt for this poor girl, like the shit she was going through. And but at the same time, you felt angry at her for the decisions she was making throughout it too. But it just pulled on your emotions in many different ways. And I love that. Like, I thought it was really well done.
She did the right thing that I don't know if I could have done.
Yes.
Yeah, that movie is a very, very good, strong horror movie that came out this year. Very, very good. A good look at bullying too.
Yeah, 100%.
And fat shaming.
Yeah.
Like unnecessary. Like, why?
Yeah, and
Why would anyone feel the need to shame how somebody looks? Like, what kind of fucking loser are you? Honestly, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
and
Like,
and it just and this like because it's just cruel. And then like what this movie shows is that nowadays bullying is unfortunately something that you take home with you because of the social media. Like you're getting picked on there too. Even it's just you can't escape it.
yeah, and it's like harassment.
Yeah,
It's actually it is harassment. Like, I don't know. I don't understand how like people get off on making fun of how someone looks.
right.
Like, what are like you're that low on yourself that you don't. Anyway, it is what it is, right? Good choices, good choices. All right, well, lighten the mood a little bit. Hee, that's funny. Best horror comedy. There were two for me this year. Obviously, I talked about Curse Friends, which makes me laugh historically because I thought MTV just nailed it with delivering like the tagline, scariest movie you'll see on MTV. So fucking funny.
I loved it.
Suicide for Beginners, I thought was really fucking funny too. Excellent fucking film, low budget done right, really well acted, really funny, very comical.
Nice. Yes, that is my runner-up, Suicide for Beginners, just because like that antagonist main character that you're following is a bumbling idiot that just one silly thing happens after another, and then just that third act where he just fucking snaps and just starts taking out everybody in the neighborhood because they're seeing what's happening. And oh my god, it's so ridiculous and funny. But my number one award for this was Deadstream, because I just found not only the character and his reactions to everything hilarious, because that guy who did such a great job acting wise, but also the shit that was coming up on the live feed with the text from everybody that's watching the live stream. Oh my god, that was so realistic but so fucking hilarious.
Agreed. Fuck, that was man, good times, good funny times, good lighten the mood.
Exactly. And the next category, that one is Can You Tell Me a Story? The best anthology film of the year. Heather, how about you? Because this one was an interesting one.
This was hard. And I gotta give a shout out to it. Little Rob Zombie's little brother.
Oh yeah.
Allegory.
Yeah, Allegoria, yeah.
You know what, Spider-One? Keep it up. That wasn't a horrible film. There was some good stories in that one.
Yeah.
You got it, good buddy. You just keep pushing some out because I think you got some talent. But the two that I have as tied for first place is Scare Package 2 and Tiny Cinema.
Oh, nice.
Now I thought both were like those. When I thought back at anthologies, those were the only three to me that stood out that I would say to people you should watch them: Allegories, Tiny Cinema, and Scare Package 2. Those are the three to check out. Well, Scare Package 2 is a little more comical. Allegory is more dark.
Yeah.
And I would say Tiny Cinema's in the middle.
Yep, that one was funny. But
that's what she said.
God, that story.
Excellent. Those made up for the lack of the other shitty anthologies that came out this year.
Yeah, and for me, I'll give a shout out to VHS 99. I really did have fun with that one.
Shout out VHS 99.
Especially that final segment by the same directors and writers of Deadstream. Like it was just so much fun. But my runner-up was Scare Package 2, because fuck.
Nice.
And we're just saying something because I was not a fan of the first film. Like compared.
No, you didn't like it as much as I did.
And this one, oh my god, I must have just been in the right mood or something. But this one fucking hit me in the funny bone.
You're in a happier place this year. That's why.
That is true. But one that I don't think you got a chance to watch because I had to rent this one. But this is also thanks to Dave Bailey's recommendation, and that is The Christmas Tapes.
Ooh, I'll have to rent it.
Yeah, this one was I liked the wraparound where just a stranger, like family is having Christmas on Christmas Eve, and a stranger shows up saying his car broke down, and they're like, "Oh, it's a Christmas time. You shouldn't be left out in the cold. Come on inside." Well, he ends up being basically like a killer, or basically just holding them hostage and making them watch these videotapes while he's like tormenting them. And each video segment or story I thought was very interesting. I wish they would have expanded a little more on the second story, made it a little bit longer, because like it just seems to have ended abruptly. And the third story wasn't much of a story. I think it was like 3 minutes long. But like every segment in it though, I thought was very entertaining. Like I just really enjoyed it. There was like a nice indie anthology this year.
Awesome. I'll have to rent it. All right. We're Stranded, best survival horror.
So this one I was struggling a little bit. But I like one of them really stood out because obviously it totally fit the whole survival horror thing, but I put that as my runner up, and that is Fall.
Me too.
Nice. Yes. Because yeah, like I mean, that is like the epitome of what you and I
Yeah.
think of as survival horror: getting stranded somewhere and not being able to like how surviving in the elements.
Scott, after a night of drinking, we're out and we're stranded in downtown Hamilton.
Yes.
It's our
But
survival horror.
I'm curious to see what yours will be. But my main award went for No Exit.
Not mine.
Oh, because yeah,
But should have been.
Yep, stranded during a winter
Actually,
blizzard with a bunch of people, and
I changed my answer. No exit. No exit. Yes. 100%. Continue what you were saying.
Yeah, I just like the story behind this, where this one came out earlier in the year, so it took me a second to go, oh yeah, this would be survival horror. But yeah, they are stranded during a major snowstorm in this like tavern, and you're with all these strangers, and one of them or two of them you find out are have kidnapped someone and left them in the van, and like this whole scenario that plays out there when the one character finds out what is going on, and then who to tell and who not to tell and who you can trust and whatnot. And very good survival horror in my eye.
Good protagonist.
Yeah.
Good protagonist. I changed my answer. So I have the same thing as Scotty now because I love No Exit. It almost made my top 10. Really? I liked it so much. Yeah, I really enjoyed that film. I thought it was really, really well done. Yeah, my top 10 is going to be interesting. It's not going to be your basic bitch.
Mine maybe.
Scott's will be for sure. Yeah, so I guess you're next.
All right. Oh yeah. So the next one is Haunting Done Right, best ghost film.
So a shouty out to the one that Scott has been praising, Day's Disappearance. Excellent fucking ghost film. Low budget done right. This gentleman was awesome. I hope to see more from him. Well, check it out. It's a good little ghost story. But for big theatrical production, this year was real weak in ghost stories. I'll be honest. Like,
yeah,
there were some that were okay. Like, they were okay. Ivana was the only one that stood out for me as creepy, scary, got the job done. And you can find that bad boy on Prime. And hopefully Scott will one day see one with the good audio. But
yep, I'll say I think the audio sticks now, so I'll just have to go back and watch it. But yeah, good choice. For me, runner up was Smile. Just because what I've said before, it just basically it's more like a curse, but it's also an entity. So I considered it a ghost that is basically following the main character around after she has been cursed. But for Haunting Done Right, I had to go Deadstream again. Like, it's just the spirit of Mildred and all of the people in the house that she has captured, like the corner man and the little children, and every one of those ghosts were just creepy and just also gave me that Evil Dead 2 vibes. And I just,
fuck yeah.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah. All right. Let's exorcise the demon. Best possession film. Not a lot this year. So
nope.
Oh man, when I looked at this category, Scott, I'm like, so I counted 5, I think.
Yeah, I think that was about the same for me.
And like that was like me considering Smile a possession film.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So let's see if we have similarities here. So my runner-up was Studio 666.
Oh shit! Yeah, that should have been my runner-up. That movie was funny.
Yeah, because Dave Grohl gets possessed by a demon and
shit,
starts just killing everybody off. It's so much fun.
Studio 666 was jokes.
It's so good. But the best exorcism or possession film for me this year was Exorcism of God. I just loved the way this film played out. It was a unique take on exorcism films, like where instead of, you exorcising the demon out of someone, the demons are exorcising fucking God from this priest. It's dark and twisted and haunting, and like it goes places that most exorcism films never would have thought of going. It's really freaking good. Like, I was impressed.
I am impressed that you liked that film so much. I was not a fan, but that's okay. That's why we do these awards. Mine is one film and one film alone, and I'll be honest with you, this year was not a year for these films. Incarnation on Netflix.
Yeah, I just watched that actually.
Right. That was the best of the pile. which isn't really saying too much, but it was okay.
Yeah, because Incantation was getting a lot of love from a lot of like big websites like Bloody Disgusting and
Yeah.
Dread Central, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it because like I never heard many people talking about it, and it was on people's top tens on their websites, and I'm going, all right, well, I'll give it a watch. I'm going, yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Like I just found it less annoying than other ones, so that's
Right.
why it's at the top of the pile there.
All right, so the next category, I want to say this one, stabby, stabby, pokey, pokey, best slasher film. There's been quite a few of them this year.
Oh, it's definitely Scream 2022. Just so original. Wasn't able to predict when any of the kills would occur. Didn't have any idea who the killer was within the first fucking 5 minutes of the movie. Okay, now that I've alienated all the Scream fans. Sissy.
Yeah.
Sissy to me was a fucking phenomenal slasher where the anti-hero is who you end up rooting for. Go Taylor Swift, Rob Humphreys. Yeah, good movie.
Nice, great choice.
What about you?
I had a runner-up and main one. My runner-up was Grotesque, just because
Nice.
it reminded me a lot of Sleepaway Camp 2 again. I just love the fun that this film had, like with like the way the character played everything out. But once again, my number one is Terrifier 2. It is a brutal fucking slasher, and Terrifier 2 has for sure cemented Art the Clown as the new icon in the slasher genre. Like, he's now got 2 full feature-length movies, wasn't an anthology, and he had another short film before that, which I did not know about till recently. So Art the Clown is becoming a new icon in horror, like even more so now after the success of Terrifier 2.
Awesome. All right. Hey, look at this mysterious tape. Found footage, best found footage film.
All right. Once again, this year nailed it with found footage. There were many good films. But for me, I've already brought these 2 up before, but the runner-up goes to When the Screaming Starts. I just had a blast. It doesn't really technically fit like the found footage because I don't think it was technically found footage. If I remember correctly, it was more like a documentary.
Yeah, that's okay.
But it still fits that genre. But the number one film, and I've praised it a million times, and it's Deadstream because it did everything a found footage film needs to do correctly, and that is have an excuse for why they are filming certain things, have an excuse for why there's music playing, have an excuse for the cameras, have an excuse for every little thing. Like even when it's like, hey, I'm by myself, but yet somehow you're seeing all these different angles. Oh, don't worry, I have a watch on my I tap this watch and it'll let me go to different spots on my iPad to see which room I'm watching now. Like it's these people, the directors, watched a ton of found footage and looked at what you should do in found footage and what you shouldn't do, and they did their homework and they nailed it.
Agreed. For me, there was one. I thought there were many good found footage films that came out this year. It was a year of found footage. I knew what you were going to say, so I thought I'd bring something different. The Andy Baker tapes. I thought that the 2 characters, and there's actually one scene where they're at this place eating, supposed to be a food vlog, and people are like, are you filming a documentary? And they're actually like filming their film, and it was not planned. And you can tell that they're like trying not to laugh because these people just came in on their found footage film. I thought this movie was great. I thought the character development was awesome. I thought the hotel scene was great. So realistic that the cops did get called. Excellent found footage done right.
100%.
Excellent, right?
100%.
Yeah, good. These are free on Tubi as well. Well, Deadstream's on Shudder, but this one's on Tubi and definitely worth your time.
All right, so the next one kind of can go alongside the found footage genre, but that is smash that like button and subscribe. The best social media horror film. So this is basically, it could be found footage as in, YouTube channel type thing, or it could just be like social media used in like irregular style film. I went the found footage route with this one. So one Heather just mentioned, the Andy Baker tapes. I gave as my runner-up just because of the whole doing a food blog type YouTube channel and like the success he's trying to find with that. And then, of course, I already brought this one up, but Deadstream, because he's live streaming. He's a YouTube personality. Like I couldn't not put that one to social media.
Well, I did have that one as well as my runner-up, so we won't go over anymore because we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
But the one that I want to bring to is Lexi. I thought Lexi was
That one
an
was another one.
excellent social media found footage horror film. It is available on the Tubi, and it's definitely worth your time. Excellent film.
Yeah, very good. Like you had me watch that one recently, and I freaking dug it. So yeah, the next category.
All right. Swimming with the fishes. Swimming with the fishes. See? Best shark film. All right, Scotty. Since you had to watch all those shark films that I made you watch.
Oh, you put me through hell. It's all your fault, Heather.
Shark Side of the Moon takes it.
Sharkula.
Sharkula.
But no, I ended up going with my runner-up as The Reef, Stranded.
Yeah.
I found that because none of the shark films this year were great. Like, I mean, most shark films aren't great like nowadays, but
yeah.
This one I found to be entertaining. But the one that I ended up going with was Sharkbait. I found that one to be the most fun.
We had the same, only reverses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with this one because it's a group of friends just enjoying a weekend with jet skis, and they get stranded out in the ocean when a shark attacks. And like, it's very simple plot, but like I liked the characters. None of the characters were annoying. The effects for the shark were pretty decent. Like it wasn't terrible CGI or anything like that. Like it was just an all around fun shark film.
Awesome. Well, I had the same, and I felt the same way. So those were two really fun sharky films that came out this year.
Nice.
So I'll let you do the next.
All right. So the next one is, this seems familiar. Best remake, sequel, or prequel. All right.
So I had
I'm
two.
curious.
Hellraiser was my runner-up because I
Nice.
thought it was a really great adaptation of Hellraiser and the prizes and the solving of the puzzle box. And I don't care how people feel about this fucking next one because I don't like a lot of the movies in this series except for a handful of them. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was motherfucking entertaining.
Fuck yeah.
It had some great kills in it, and people can stop bitching about it. It wasn't a shitty movie. It was entertaining enough, and it was a fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It was fine for what it was.
Exactly. And yep, we had one similarity, and but I will give my runner up, and that is Terrifier 2. I found that to be a very fun, disturbing, dark sequel. But my main pick was Hellraiser. Like I have always been a fan of the Hellraiser, like as a character, Pinhead or the Hell Priest, and I've always wanted like them to bring him back in a great way, and they did, and brought him back in a different way as a her, and it was Jamie Clayton as the Hell Priest. It was fucking phenomenal. Like I praise the shit out of this movie. I love it to death. Like it's so fucking good. So bravo, Hellraiser. Yes.
Agreed. All right. Where are we? Don't you judge me. That's guilty pleasure film so bad it's good.
All right. So my choice, there was a couple this time, but Heather will get a laugh out of this first. So my runner-up, I'll do Grotesque, because once again, it's just corny, it's cheesy, it's not the greatest film, but it's fun. But Heather, don't you judge me. Weredeer. Weredeer was fucking fun as hell. I don't care what you say. It was low budget, it was stupid, but goddamn did I have fun with it.
All right. Well, mine is Cursed Friends. I brought that up already. Bitch ass.
Bitch
I don't
ass.
care what you say, Scott. I thought Bitch Ass was awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
And all the games that they play, I don't know. I think it was very much like urban horror. It's supposed to be urban folklore.
Yeah, urban horror was what I call it. So
right?
like Tales from the Hood style.
Yeah, like I loved it. I thought it was fucking great. I liked Bitch Ass. Everyone should watch Bitch Ass because Scott didn't like it because he has no taste.
Oh, I didn't mind it. I didn't hate it. I didn't mind it. But at least I watched it, Heather. Unlike
I'm not watching
Weredeer. Weredeer was fun.
I'm watching Weredeer. It's not happening. Christmas is over. I don't watch Christmas movies unless it's Christmas time.
Fine. So next Christmas you'll.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be right on my watch list. Hopefully you'll forget by then, and we won't have this conversation.
Nope, I'm not gonna ever forget.
All right, continue on.
All right, so the next category is ew, it's all slimy. Best body horror film. There wasn't this year a lot to choose from.
No.
I didn't think. But of course, when there's body horror, you got to at least give the runner-up a guy to give the shout out to. Of course, David Cronenberg, the godfather of body horror.
Same one. Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future, like the body horror in that was just, it was gross. It was interesting. Like the whole movie I found fascinating. Like it was a very interesting take. But like, yeah, the body and horror in that, he came back with a bang. But my number one best body horror film was The Cursed. The Cursed is basically a werewolf film, but the body horror in this one is very disturbing and unique and like a different take on the werewolf, the lycanthrope style virus like that this causes. Like especially with like when they cut open the one transformed version and you see the human version inside that's coming out and starting to transform. It's disturbing. It's gross. Like it's freaky.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. The only thing I would add on is Men for the scene at the end.
Yeah. That one.
Best sequence of grossness was that scene of men birthing each other.
That was so fucked up.
Yeah, that was definitely some great body horror that they did there. Who goes there? Best home invasion film.
All right. So I gave a runner up to this because there was quite a few of these actually this year. But the one I went with for runner up was Who Invited Them? Mm-hmm. Just an excellent take on the home invasion. Party breaks up and, oh, there's two people still left from the party. And, oh, shit.
Who would
crazy.
Be Scott and I?
Yeah, right. Hey, we got drunk and walked into the bathroom.
And passed out. That's why. It's nothing as exciting as this.
But I chose one that's a little more unique in this category, and that is The Leech, because they weren't really invading. I mean, they weren't really like breaking and entering into a home, but they were invading this priest's home by like moving in and just taking it over.
Oh, Mickey agrees.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, The Leech I found just to be a great representation of home invasion, because this priest lets these people in that he feels he's helping, and they just completely ruin everything about him and his ideologies.
Well, Mickey's like perfecting me right now from a home invasion. I had the same Who Invited Them. I didn't think of The Leech. That's a really good example.
Yeah, those are because both great home invasion films.
Absolutely. All right, I think you're next, right?
Yep. So Home for the Holidays. Best holiday themed horror.
I feel like you just made this category so you could say Weredear.
I'm
pretty fucking sure that's what you did.
Weredear is not even on this list.
Well,
so I'm curious to hear what yours are though.
Christmas, Bloody Christmas. So it's definitely my pick.
Nice.
I thought that robotic Santa Claus come to life and fuck up shit for an hour and a half was fairly entertaining.
Fuck yeah, because that is my number one award too. It's Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Look at that.
But I did give a honorable mention to or runner up to Terrifier 2, because when I say holidays, it didn't have to be just Christmas. Could be Halloween or whatever. And that one.
What? You didn't specify that in the awards. You said holidays and it's Christmas time.
Holidays. How many holidays do we have?
Oh, for fuck's sake, Scotty. Okay, fine.
That's why I said best holiday themed horror film. But I felt Terrifier 2 did a good job of representing Halloween, like because it was once again happening on a Halloween night. There was Halloween parties going on. Sienna was dressed as this badass battle angel. But yeah. So on to the next category.
I just wanted to choose Weredear. Low budget done right. Best indie film. Scott, what was your
shit film? All right, so runner up goes to Suicide for Beginners, and then yep, and then Terrifier 2, just because like I brought up way earlier, the $250,000 budget making $11 million in theaters. That's low budget done right there.
Yeah, I agree with you about Suicide for Beginners, and I would echo Terrifier 2 as well. Absolutely, those two deserve that. Now we get a little bit more, I don't know, a little different. You can give the name for this one. I think it's your turn to give the name of the word, right?
Yay, movies. Best non-horror film. So I chose two. I'll let Heather go.
I have one. 13 Lives. I thought that was one of the best films that came out this year. The acting was incredible. The story was emotionally driven. Even though you know what's going to happen, you still don't know what's going to happen. Like, you're like, do all these kids make it out? I knew all the kids made it out. Spoiler, like everyone knows the story, but fuck, how they got these kids out of these tunnels is incredible. 13 Lives. Worth it if you haven't watched it yet.
All right. So I'm shocked to say this again. Well, I listened back to our 2021 awards episode, and y'all were making fun of me during this category, saying, "Oh, Scott's gonna pick The Northman. He's already gonna pick it for 2022. That's gonna be his number one film." Well, I am sad to say I still have not watched The Northman.
Oh, you're not even a fan.
I know, but I just haven't got around to it. It will be watched. But no, I ended up going for runner-up, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I had to see it just because it was Sam Raimi.
And wasn't Jurassic World?
I didn't bother watching that.
Oh, what a shitty movie.
I know. What a shame I missed it.
Oh, fuck.
But
piece of shit. Sorry.
No, I'll say for a Marvel film, this was dark. It had a lot of the Sam Raimi style filmmaking and comedy to it, and like horror elements to it in a way. So I found this to be very fun. But the number one film in this award for me goes to Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Nice.
This was basically a fake biopic on Weird Al. It was basically UHF done telling Weird Al's story, and it is so wrong and inaccurate, but goddamn is it funny. And Daniel Radcliffe does such a fucking amazing job as
good
Weird
actor.
Al. Oh, it is so entertaining. Like, I was laughing my ass off through the whole entire thing. So fucking good.
That's awesome. All right. Someone to keep an eye on. Best first time feature length directorial debut.
All right. So, yeah, going to mention this one again for like the millionth time. And that is Joseph and Vanessa Winter directing Deadstream.
I agree. I second it.
Fucking amazing, because they did only short films before this. And yeah, absolutely incredible. I already talked about it a million times.
And someone to watch out for. I think it's someone that we're going to see a lot of good coming from. He's already had something released in VHS 99. I think we can see a lot from himself and his wife. I look forward to seeing what they do in the future.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go on to the next category, and that is, wow, that looks real. Best practical effects. So what are your choices?
Well, mine is actually pretty simple. It's Feed Me.
Nice.
I thought Feed Me had some really good practical effects for cannibalism. And I think she showed the eating of this guy and dismembering him really, really well. It's subtle. I could have gone with Terrifier 2 and stuff like that. But I think when I looked at the subtle practical effects that were really strong, it was definitely Feed Me.
Nice. Great choice. Both of mine have already been mentioned about a half dozen to a dozen times at this point, but Terrifier 2 runner up, because yeah, practical effects done were for the budget, amazing. But my choice was Hellraiser. I loved the practical effects look of these Cenobites. They were fucking awesome. The fact that David Bruckner decided to go with a more using their flesh as their costume or as their outfits instead of like just BDSM leather gear, I thought was a fucking awesome, unique choice, and it just looked disturbing.
Agreed. Excellent. Good choices and good practical effects for that movie as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Pretty, most stylish film.
All right. So for my most stylish films, I chose Don't Worry, Darling. As a runner-up, I thought that was very unique aesthetic to it, with the whole 50s style look and the way everything was just very colorful and pristine looking and very
Agreed.
50s feeling. But my most stylish film award goes to Pearl. The Technicolor filmmaking to this, it was just beautiful. The colors were vibrant. It felt like a twisted version of Wizard of Oz.
I have the same, only I had X and Pearl.
Oh, nice.
I thought that they were this very stylish, very well filmed, very well done. Eurotai West. Whether they were my two favorite movies or not, Eurotai West.
100% agree.
Right. And I guess the last one, that's you.
All right. And this one was a new category, since we always do first-time watches each year of older films. This award is, I've never seen this before. Best first-time watch horror film from previous years. So what did you choose, Heather?
Landmine Goes Click 2015. That movie stuck with me. So much so that I made the guys from Horror of Dummies watch it. Or Dummies of Horror watch it, and they loved it. Now it's their number one feel-good film of the year. But yeah, love it. Great film. Heavy though, very heavy.
Yeah, I still need to see that one. But I ended up doing a runner-up as well for this one. The runner-up, both these films were ones that we picked for our international episodes that we did for our podcast. The first runner-up was Demon 2015.
Good film.
I thought that was just a incredible film, like relationship-wise, exorcism-wise, just storyline-wise, like showing of a I think it was Polish Wedding, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was Polish.
And yeah, just everything about that film I thought was fantastic. But the film I ended up going with was The Medium. Since I did not watch it last year, I'm glad we decided to cover it for our what was it, our Taiwanese or
Yeah.
But god damn, this movie was excellent and disturbing and dark. It was so fucking good.
It was good. It was good.
But yeah, that is the end of all of our awards. That was this has been a very crazy year for horror films.
It has been. It has been. And we will do our top 10. So I'm thinking the best way to do it is maybe we just go off. We'll do all list honorable mentions. You list honorable mentions. You give your 10. I give my 10. You give your 9. I'll give my 9. Make sense?
Yep. And can we take a quick break real quick?
Oh yeah, go do what you gotta do.
All right, I'll be right back.
You ready? You ready for this?
Let's bang it out.
All right. Honorable mentions for me. Pearl and X, Hellraiser, Terrifier 2, Hatching, Master.
Nice. So my honorable mentions were Soft and Quiet, Terrifier 2, The Sadness, Suicide for Beginners, and The Leech.
Nice. What's your number 10?
My number 10 is the Year of Ty West. It's X. I just thought this was a great 70s style film. Gave me very Texas Chainsaw Massacre Eaten Alive vibes, and Mia Goth just was badass in it.
My 10 is Speak No Evil.
Ooh, nice.
What's your 9?
My number 9, Hellraiser. I just loved it. I thought it was great.
Awesome. My number 9 is a movie that we haven't brought up yet, and it was Jordan Peele's third film, Nope.
Nice. I knew it would be on your list somewhere.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent watch. I thought the acting was great. I enjoyed the story. Yeah, it was probably a little too long. I did enjoy the alien reveal. I enjoyed the filming dude when he sings the song Purple People Eater. I thought it was perfect. I liked the discussion on childhood trauma and the pursuit of fame. Excellent film.
Great choice. And also, if anyone is a fan of Dummies for Horror, go listen to their review and Tim's thoughts on why this is comparable to Jaws. Very interesting take.
Yeah, the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life.
I thought it was kind of fascinating.
I thought it was reaching. I think he was reaching.
Oh, he was reaching to some point.
You could compare this to every single creature feature then, because it's a creature feature, just like Jaws is. So I think that's just Tim having like an unhealthy relationship with the movie Jaws, similar to you have an unhealthy relationship with the movie Gremlins. It's just
I don't know what you're saying. Tim and I do not have unhealthy relationships with these films.
No. I'm pretty sure like when Tim goes to the strip clubs and get lap dances, he talks about Jaws to them while they're doing the thing.
Hey, that's what I do about Gremlins.
I know. You're like, man, so there's this Gizmo character. The girl's like, can you please just stop talking? or guy, can you please just stop talking? You need to just shut the fuck up and let this happen.
See, and I'm used to you telling me that all the time. So all right.
Right. You're like, it's like talking to Heather. Do you know her?
So yeah, I guess my number 8.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 8 is Bones and All. I just thought it was a really well done cannibal coming of age story.
Very nice. My number 8 is Who Invited Them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So my number 7 is When the Screaming Starts. Just so much fucking fun.
Yeah. I love it. Number 7 for me, we haven't brought it up, is Watcher. I really enjoyed this film this year. Micah Moreau, excellent job in this movie. Very subtle, creepy build to it. Very, very good horror film. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, great choice. Like I thought it was pretty good. I had a feeling it may have been on your list on that one.
Yeah.
For me, my number 6, another Year of Ty West. It's Pearl. I love just the way it looks. I thought Mia Goth does an incredible job acting wise. It's definitely a much different style of film than X. It's more of a character study instead of like the slasher style. And yeah, I've heard some complaints about, like she went, you would hope for a story where she started slowly descending into madness or whatnot, but this one just shows that she's crazy from the beginning. But I had no problem with that. I thought it was just a very, very well done film.
That was your jam, right?
Yeah.
Number 6 for me was When the Screaming Starts. We've already talked about that one a lot, but yeah, I really enjoyed that one this year.
All right. And my number 5 is Smile. I
Yeah.
did not think this film would ever make a top 10 for me when I first seen the trailer. I thought it was just going to be generic jump scare horror. And boy, was I wrong. I love this film.
Awesome. My number 5 was Barbarian.
Nice.
We've talked about it a lot. Excellent horror film that came out this year.
100%. My number 4 is Midnight. Talked about this one a lot, but it's excellent. Back to you.
Right. Fresh, not a shock. This is where we're going to get to. Like, probably the surprising part was a couple in my top 10 that maybe some people haven't heard of or didn't think about. Fresh, I praised. I think it's a great film. I really enjoyed it this year. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Excellent. Yeah, because that is a very good film. My number, oh boy, we're in the top 3s. So my number 3 is The Cursed. Nice. I just once again say this is like a great take on a werewolf film. It's not your typical werewolves, but I love that it's got the nomadic people curse. Has like a lot of like the old school werewolf mythology behind it, and the creatures looked fucking scary as hell, and it was very, very brutal. It was just a very good story all around too. I just found this whole movie to be just well done period piece horror.
Fuck yeah, it was. Soft and Quiet was my number 3.
Nice.
Yep.
My number 2, Barbarian.
Nice.
Love that movie.
Excellent. My number 2 was The Curse, as you brought it up already. Saw this earlier at the beginning of the year. Excellent werewolf film, super well acted, stuck to the Irish theme, not the Irish theme, the Irish folklore very, very well. Excellent, excellent movie.
Great choice. I'm happy to see it on your list. So my number 1, I haven't mentioned it at all this entire awards.
Oh my God.
No, not at all. That's Deadstream.
Yeah. I knew that was going to be your one.
I love it so much. It's so much fun. I could rewatch it over and over and over again.
It was a good film. My number 1 is Don't Worry, Darling.
I had a feeling. That's awesome.
So thank you everyone for supporting us this year and for listening to us watch many, many 2022s to bring you this awards and as well as our top 10 list. As we said, we will post our top 10 list with this episode. We will, if you really want to see our awards, let us know and give us your email address and we'll send it to you. And moving forward, we will be posting the movies that we watch. 2023 is always slow to start off with, but that's probably a good thing because we will have some breaks coming up this year.
Yeah.
The first break will be, I will be away from January 15th to the 25th of January. We'll probably get one more show in before I leave. Probably be a quickie, probably be like an hour long because I don't know if we're going to be watching a lot of, well, we'll see what 2023's come out. We'll see if we get to watch any gems. So it might be a quick one, which is fine. And then I will be back, but then Scott is going to be leaving. And I think Scott, when is your trip again? The 14th?
My trip is February 10th to the 18th. So it'll be an 8-day trip.
So we'll probably get a recording in when I come back. Then there'll be a break because Scott will be gone and he will not be watching any movies. So we probably won't record again until the end of February. So for the months of January and February, you'll probably only get 3 episodes in total, just because of the times that we'll be away. So don't worry, we didn't break up.
Don't worry, darling.
Don't worry, darling. It's just timing. It's just we both have vacations booked within a couple of weeks with each other. So that kind of throws off our scheduling. But good news is when we get back to regularly recording come March, end of February, there'll be a lot more 2023s out there that we'll be able to talk about.
Exactly.
So you will hear from us more regularly.
Yes, you will. I know you all will miss our sultry voices.
Yes, and and Scott and I watching the finest that Tubi has to offer.
Damn right, we will.
Wait, we dig real to the bottom of the barrel at the beginning of the year. Just you wait to some gems we're going to talk about. Buckle up, it's going to be great.
It is going to be so much fun.
So we are proud members of the Legion Podcast Network. You can find us underneath the Kill the Cast feed. Legion is on Patreon. Being a member of Patreon allows you to get early access to shows, additional access to special shows, as well as promotional codes. So if you haven't joined Legion yet, Scotty has one question for you.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Yes, join us today. We are one. Just thank you everyone for listening and supporting us and enjoying horror movies as much as we do. means the world to us that you do choose to tune in, and we've been happy to spend our 2022 year with you, and we look forward to spending our 2023 year with you as well. Anything you want to add, Scotty?
Yeah, I'll say pretty much everything you said, Heather. Thank you to everybody for supporting us throughout these couple of years. We have been having a blast doing this. And yeah, I'll say I look forward to what other hidden gems we will find with 2023. And will I watch nearly as many as I did this year? We'll see. You never know. But I hope everybody has a safe and happy New Year's. We are recording this on New Year's Eve day. So obviously this will be out afterwards. But yeah, just hope you guys all had a good time and were safe and had enjoyed your time with friends, family, loved ones of all sorts. Just be safe, drink responsibly, smoke responsibly, whatever you do, just be safe and have a good one.
And if you have kids, name them after Scott and I. Like if you conceive after listening to this episode, then your children should be named after us, or Deadstream, one or the other. Actually, we'll accept that as well as a name for your child.
And I can't wait to hear of the child named Smoke Show.
Right? And they're like, "Oh, how did you get your name?" My parents like this broadcast named Friday Nightmares. Yeah, I'm sure we have that kind of pull and power, right?
We sure do.
Right. But take care. Happy 2023, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.